I want to announce to you this. It is now March. I've been now involved in 4 different bills for abolition. Arizona, Oklahoma, Texas, South Carolina are all happening by March. And it's the pro-life industry that has fought against all of these. The pro-choice movement had barely needed to lift a finger.
If your senator and your representative do not know you by name, you have not done enough for abolition. That's all there is to it.
We still live in a nation where it is the easiest, that probably has been in Earth history, to change the law as a citizen. It is the easiest for you. Shame on us if we fail.
This is the premier issue of justice in our nation. We have no right to ask God to bless our nation while we continue to slaughter children in our streets.
My name is Zach Lautenschlager. I'm with Action for Life. I've spent the last 22 years working professionally in politics. I've lobbied in over 40 states. I'm a registered federal lobbyist, which is almost as bad as being a lawyer. I've built teams that have passed controversial gun bills, controversial constitutional carry. We're working on it in this state right now, but I built the team that passed that now, coming up in 20 states. And the Lord has prepared me, I believe, to now work on this issue. I work with Action for Life. And I want to talk to you a little bit, just a couple minutes, about our founding fathers. We talked a little bit about them at the beginning. They wrote in the Declaration of Independence, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And then they closed that declaration by saying, "And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." Many of you know what it means to pledge your life or your fortune, but what does sacred honor mean? It literally means that they would be dragged across the ocean, convicted of treason in a kangaroo court, hacked limb from limb, and have their body parts spread all over the empire as examples of treason. And then their families would have a bill of attainder passed against them. If you look in the Constitution, you'll see bills of attainder are specifically prohibited in the United States. It's basically a multi-generational criminal record. Your children and grandchildren cannot get good jobs, cannot own land, they are doomed to poverty. That's what they meant when they said they pledged their sacred honor. Now, why would they do this? Jonathan told us at the beginning, to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Now, how do I know about these things? Because my grandma used to sit me down and tell me the story of a man who signed the Declaration of Independence. His name was John Hart. And she would finish the story with, "And that's what your grandpa did to win liberty and freedom. What will you do?" And I'm 6. I've thought a lot about that question. You know what the answer is? Because the question is, how do you live up to that? And look, you all have the same question for you, whether or not you happen to have had ancestors who here at the time, they had you in mind. You are their posterity. And so are the 14 little babies who are going to die today in your state. the 3,000 that are going to die all across our country today. They had them in mind. How do we live up to winning liberty and freedom? How do we live up to their example? Well, first of all, you know what the glorious thing is? We may not have to. We still live in a nation where it is the easiest, that probably has been in Earth history, to change the law as a citizen. It is the easiest for you. Shame on us if we fail. Amen. To whom much has been given, much will be required. Amen. It is required of us. So what will you do to strike a blow for the rights to life and liberty? And I do mean strike a blow. This is a war. It is not a hot war, thank God. Our forefathers did that. You can do it by being politically active, by signing a petition, by talking to your legislators, by perhaps putting up with being a little bit socially unpopular among the political set. You want to talk to Jonathan about that? Yeah, that's why they kicked him out of the caucus. Right up there. That's why they threw a fit when he protested the unwillingness to accept amendments to fix the heartbeat bill. That's why they're throwing a fit right now that you're here. And believe me, they are. I hope they heard that. Come on down, let's talk. So what can you do? There's a bunch of these clipboards going around. If you haven't signed, there are 2 petitions. One, to defund all abortion providers. We're not talking about, well, you can have money, but you can't spend it on abortions. If I give you $1,000, but say, well, you can't do this with it, what are you going to do? You're going to reallocate funds. Okay? So sign that petition. And then sign the petition for H. 4046 to end abortion outright in South Carolina. We are picking a fight with the federal government, and we're doing it on purpose. Yes, we are. On purpose. Now, what do I mean by a fight? I mean we're going to tell them we're going to enforce the law anyway. If you want to stop us, you're going to have to come. You know what the federal government always does? Oh, okay. I shouldn't say always. There was that time in the mid-1800s when they didn't. But ever since, what happened when Fob James, the governor of Alabama, told the federal government, we're going to have the 10 Commandments on our court walls. If you don't like it, you better send armed people. They said, oh, okay. What is the federal government saying right now when 33 states say we're not obeying the laws on marijuana? Look, I'm not saying that you should smoke pot. I'm not saying you should support it. That's not the point. The point is, there are 33 states right now defying federal law. And we can't do it to save babies. Shame on us. So sign the petitions. Even better, grab some of these clipboards on this table and circulate them around. Don't just run out of the room. Make sure you get this thing signed before you go. My children, and it blessed my socks off. We're at an event. I have some of my younger ones who haven't had an opportunity to do something like this. We were at this just this last weekend, and I told them, see this, guys? If you can get people to sign this, it will help save babies. And they said, wait a minute. All we have to do is ask people to sign this, and we'll be helping save babies? I couldn't even get yes out of my mouth before they grabbed them and ran into the crowd. Would you sign this to help save babies? I almost wept. I'm almost weeping now to see them. They're 9 and 10, okay? Don't leave here without signing this and without helping everyone else sign it. It does help. And one of the things you're going to be doing is staying in contact with us so that when it's time to contact your representatives, the vote is today. Call them and tell them, here's your rep, here's his phone number, here's your senator, here's her phone number. We will give you that. So please, don't fill it out and cop out and say, oh, I'm not going to give you my email because I don't want junk mail. Well, I'm sorry, this isn't junk mail, this is Save Baby mail.
That's right.